H3vr is the game for you if you enjoy VR, guns, and hot dogs. There's a lot of hot dogs. Unfortunately, some of these hot dogs have ketchup on them. But the gunplay is so good that I'm willing to give it a pass. The gunplay in H3vr is by far the best I've ever seen in any game. Now, I'm not a gun person, so excuse me if I get some terminology wrong here and there. We have your standard weapons like pistols, shotguns, and rifles. Unlike other VR shooters, this game features safeties, so remember to check your safety before running into a room full of enemies. More interesting weapons are the revolvers. Now I play on the Rift S, so anytime I talk about controls, I'm referring to the Rift S controls. Using the analog, you can open up its cylinder to load it, and flicking it will close it. You can ready the hammer by pulling down on the analog. To unload it, you can either use the ejection rod, or my favorite method, just jerk the gun with the force of 1,000 suns until all the bullets just fly out. Oh, and you can do this with it.
It's high noon.
A lot of the guns in H3vr are carefully thought out and have a lot of detail put into it. You got rifles with pop-out sights, pulling out the stock and bipedals, adjusting the scope, zeroing in on the distances, changing their visuals, and adjusting the positions. And geez, look at this pile, that's only pistols. There's just too much guns in this game to play with, plus they're customizable with attachments and rails. And I have no idea what this is. Is this a gun? A knife? A light show? By far, the most fun and satisfying weapon to use is the lever action. I never felt so badass in my life. I feel like my hero, the Scout. Speaking about the Scout, this game has a official TF2 game mode and weapons. It's not great, it's still a work in progress, they recently added dispensers and turrets, but it's a joy to play with some of the weapons from TF2, a game that really means a lot to me. Finally, I can feel what it's like to rocket jump. Alright, here we go, let's do a rocket jump. It's very peaceful up here. I could stay up here forever. Wait, what is happening to me?
I don't feel so good.
There's a lot of other modes here. We got some practice ranges, new feature previews, and this horror game mode that I am too terrified to play. I question how a game where you shoot hot dogs can be so frightening. I love horror games and movies, but I got in here and I was like, nope. The atmosphere is great, and I never once saw a monster. It's just the fear of not knowing what horrors await me. But the main draw, for me at least, is Taken Hold, a control point roguelike game that I previously made a video on. With the huge range of guns, no playthrough is the same. But in order to play this game mode right, you really need to learn how to play the game. The game is extremely complicated, and the built-in tutorials try their best. But I recommend watching Anton's videos on the game. Anton is one of the developers of H3vr and has a tutorial series plus devlogs for every major update. If anything, at least learn about spawn lock. This is how you create infinite ammo and prevent misplacing guns. Just click in on the analog when hovering over a slot. Lastly, I recommend Arm Swinger. Arm Swinger is a revelation, and it is a workout, but an effective way to move. You can easily control the speed at which you move, and it frees up the analog for gun functionality. I used to use the analog for smooth locomotion, but it made inventory management and gun control more complicated, because I had to switch off movement to use the analogs. But with Arm Swinger, that isn't a problem. It's a really effective way to move, but you'll look silly doing it. But this is VR, it can't really be helped. H3vr is a great game. If you enjoy FPS games, then I recommend you try it out. Don't let the cartoonish nature of this game turn you away. It has some of the best gunplay I have seen in any game. and Taken Hold is just so much fun. This game is still in early access, but it's one of those good early access games. Constantly getting updates and a very vocal dev who's always taking in suggestions from the community. So give the game a shot. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful.